Welcome to Patscast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And this is our episode for February the 14th, 2022.
Right side, Howe fakes the shot. Midpoint, here's Evans. Bedard, left circle, advances to the high slot, holds, shoots, he scores! Hat-trick, Connor Bedard! Here come the Hats onto the ice here at the Brandt Center. What a shot by Connor Bedard! Kelton Pine, congratulations, makes 24 saves for his first career shutout, just his second Western Hockey League start, and his first inside the Brandt Center in front of his hometown. Wow!
Well, Chris, we are 42 games into the season. Pats are sitting in 10th place in the Eastern Conference, 17 wins and 25 losses. Coming off a tough road swing here. They played 3 games this last week. One really good one. One was a good win. The others, some tough losses again. One kind of uninspiring loss in my opinion, but let's kick it off here with kind of a weird game last Tuesday. Now it seems like it was a while ago, almost a week since now. We're recording on the Monday, but if you've missed this one, I wouldn't blame you because to be totally honest, so did I. Anyone with a job where they weren't able to get away and watch it or catch up on it with a busy lifestyle, because it was 11 o'clock our time it started.
It was noon
our time, so 11 o'clock local, or are they on the same time? 11 local. Yeah. So yes, in Edmonton, 11 a.m. start time. So a bit of a goaltender change. Kelton Pine's first action with us, kind of thrust.
Yeah, that's kind of the news right off the hop. I thought, they'll give Welke the start, right?
Yeah. Well, we thought with the apparent injuries to Matthew Keeper and Drew Sim, pull up some goaltenders from past and bring up Kelton Pine from the Patsies and kind of thrown into a bit of action there against one of the better teams in the CHL. And I mean, you can look at 6 goals against, but not a horrible start for a young guy put into a tough situation.
No, and from what I did see of the game, I kind of watched it in bits and pieces during the week. The first goal was tough. It was a real real tight angle, short side, and kind of stuck under his arm. Probably wants that one back, but the second one on the power play, Gunther just ripped one top corner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not much you can do there.
Yeah. And
the third one, it was a shorthanded 2-on-1. They busted out of the zone, and as soon as it was 2-on-1, I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be good." Boom, 3-0 early into the second period. But I mean, it was kind of like the theme of last week's show. They had the comeback. Svozil scores a couple. His first one was really nice. He stepped up at the blue line, picked off a pass, and he drove to the net in a nice little backhand.
Yeah.
And he gets one on the power play, and then Bedard has a nice shot. Just beats Kosa just clean. Just barely over his glove, but Kosa didn't even move his glove, so it was like, whoa, wow. So, and then I kind of didn't really see the end of the game. They give up another power play goal in the third.
Yeah, and in total, 7 penalties. When I was kind of thinking of what to talk about this episode, I really feel like this team lives and dies with not just the power play, but the special teams in general. We saw that last week with the Saskatoon game where they gave up, 3 power play goals, and it seems like the team is successful when we're getting those power play goals. And you look through this week, even right, the game against Calgary, it was clicking then, and we were getting those opportunities. And it goes the other way, like when the power play or the penalty kill isn't necessarily clicking, it's the opposite, right? Like it just we seem to be really dependent on special teams on both sides for success.
Yeah, definitely. Like you look at going into the next game, the Calgary game, they only gave up 2 power plays, or
exactly
only had 2 penalties, and they obviously killed them both off. But yeah, the power play is still rolling. Like it's 3rd in the league, but it's the penalty kill that's dropped off significantly recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's something they can do to clean that up. But it's like you said, the Saskatoon game, the Edmonton game. I mean, Edmonton only scored 2 on 7 chances, which is, that's pretty good because Edmonton's, such a skilled team. To hold them to 2 power play goals on 7 chances is, not the worst, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe the Calgary game with Pine starting again, it was, I don't know, maybe they just had that extra step. They thought they maybe let him down a bit or whatever. But you could see it was a little bit of a different feel in that game.
It was definitely a different feel, and it was a little bit of a bright spot and encouraging. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to carry over into Saskatoon, but it was the last week in the road trip. Outside this Edmonton game, though, there were some tough losses and some 1-goal late goal games, and this Calgary game was like, man, that this team could have played like that or just kept this momentum or whatever it was working on this Friday night against Calgary. I don't know. It was like just a little taste, and it was like, boy, that was nice.
I know, right?
It looked really.
Calgary came out in the first, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe, and really had the bulk of the action, bulk of the play. And then after that, it was all Regina. Like, it just seemed that they controlled the play, and it wasn't the most, I don't know what to say. It was kind of it wasn't crazy. It wasn't a ton of quality scoring chances either way kind of thing, but they capitalized on the power play. Like I said, 3 out of 4 on the power play. And they shut down on the penalty kill. And, there's one real late, I don't know what time it was. Bedard took that cross-checking at 18:35, and everybody was just doing whatever they could to block, just to hold the shutout, right?
Yeah, but you look, they only gave up 2 penalties, right? And they showed really good discipline. I think they did sell out a little bit to try and get some heat off of Pine and not get the shots on him. You look at 6 shots in the first, 10 in the second, 8 in the third, and that's when Calgary would have been making kind of a bit of a push maybe in that second after being down a bit. But I don't know. I mean, it was just a good game. Like, they just looked good. Yeah. Like, they looked like a quality team. They were getting the power play goals. They weren't giving up a bunch of odd man rushes and things like that. And it was all around a good game. And fortunately, haven't seen that more often, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Bedard goal, in the end of the first period there, like, they had Calgary had an icing, right? And it's like, okay, like, this is a spot. I was thinking, like, if you could score here, get a second going into the game. And then they did, 20 seconds to go in the first period. That's, like we were saying, those are killers. That's what the Pats have been giving up lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to get one of those and then to come back into the second period and score 40 seconds into the game. That's 2 goals in a minute, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I know we've talked so much about when we get scored on like that. Into Saskatoon, we had one of those, and how just devastating it is. It just feels like it's just like, oh my God, they're just momentum killers or builders, depending on what side you're on. But it seems like we're on the wrong side more often than not.
But definitely, right? So
yeah.
And then I don't know, like Bedard, you got to talk about him. 5 points.
I know. How do we
game? Like,
we haven't really talked about him as much as maybe we should, but these last, well, I guess what we're looking at 6 weeks now, 6-7 weeks have just been just unreal. I just saw today he got the Player of the Week award.
Again?
Yeah. What is it? 3 games, 9 points. It's phenomenal.
Like he's on another level right now. Like, it's unreal.
Yeah, and it's if you're not getting out and watching him, like, it's not going to be every single game. Like, he's not going to put up 5 points every night, but
he's putting up like 2 a game now, right?
Yeah, and it's to the point that anytime he's on the ice, you're watching him.
Yeah, it just seems like he's dialed in now. Like we were talking earlier in the season, he was just off, just missing the net or putting it into the goalie's chest. Like,
Yeah.
it was just off. And whatever, I asked him about it after that game, and it's just clicking for him, right?
Yeah.
And he's just picking the corners. Like, that second goal is beautiful. He hit screens on the first and third goal, but he hit the net, right? Like, he just hit the net.
Yeah.
Body's in front, and he's putting in the goals.
So speaking of which, was this the first chance you got to talk with him?
Recently, yeah. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Okay. So you caught up with him after this game and got to ask him a few good questions that we want to play for you guys now.
5 points, 5 goals for the team. Did you set the tone for yourself on the first shift when you sent Funk flying? Did that get you into the game right away?
Yeah, maybe a little. I think first shifts are always important for every line, and you want to establish yourself in the game as quickly as possible. So I kind of got out there, and the hit was there. So just try to make a play and stop them from getting the puck in. But I think those little things definitely help you get in the game a bit.
I mean, all of your goals are worthy of questions tonight. The second one, how much could you take me through that one? It didn't look like there was much room above his left shoulder, but you don't need much room lately.
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of a tougher angle, and I saw a little bit of room, and I've missed that shot 100 times. So I was just kind of fortunate that this time it went in, and it's nice to see that.
How excited are you for Kelton Pine tonight?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, second game in the league, and he gets a shutout. Obviously against Edmonton, he played unbelievable too. So, I think for as young as he is too, as a goalie, that's one of the more impressive things I've seen. So, I think all the boys were super pumped for him, and for his confidence, that's huge. And moving forward, for the next couple of years, he's gonna be an unreal goalie in this league.
Connor, you said in that second goal, you said you missed that shot 100 times. Did it seem like in the first part of the season you were missing that shot, and now this, since December you're making that shot now on a regular basis? What's maybe changed here in the last little bit for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, first part of the season, first 15 to 20 games, it was kind of a struggle for me to put the puck in the net, and it was obviously frustrating, and I felt like I was playing well, maybe gripping my stick a little, but I think that for now the tide's turned a little, and hopefully I can kind of keep that going throughout the next 27.
Does this game, with a solid full effort for the team, does this kind of get some momentum going now? Like you've had such close losses, tough losses here lately. What can this do for the full team confidence here?
Yeah, it could definitely be huge for us. I think last 6 games, 4 of them 1 goals, 3 of them kind of last second heartbreakers, and it's been a bit of a tough stretch. I think we've thought we were playing pretty well, and we were doing a lot of good things, and we just weren't winning. So tonight to kind of have more of a blowout was definitely nice, and hopefully we can kind of carry that momentum on to the rest of the season.
So I have to just shout out to Rob Vanstone. He's the other person that you can hear asking questions there. So just want to recognize that he is there too and asking some great questions too that we get to tail on a little bit.
Yeah, he had some good questions, so I kept those ones in there. And I don't know, it was the Stoon game. Yeah, it was Stoon game. He wasn't there after that game. It was just me. I was just like, oh man. Yeah. Rob usually leads, and he usually asks all the good questions. And if I've got something else to add, I'll add something else. But he's good. So
yeah, he's for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure, anyone in Regina must know who Rob Vanstone is. He's a cornerstone of local sports and everything for the leader post. So, just want to make sure everyone knows who he is. And then when you hear his voice on our podcast, so thanks for Rob for letting us tail in on some of his questions there.
Yeah, he's a great guy too. So real nice to sit down and meet him and talk hockey during the games. It's nice. So
absolutely. So I did want to talk about that goal. So we had traded in our tickets, and I brought my son, and I actually ended up sitting behind the Calgary net for that second goal. And it was bizarre. It was almost like, the goaltender went down and just gave Connor that whole upper part of the net. And I say whole upper part, it wasn't that big, but he just sort of sniped it, and it was like, I was sitting there watching it, and it almost felt like if there wasn't the net and the glass, it was like coming at my face. Like it was such a unique perspective, and I just kind of watched it and just went in, and he was just like, yeah, that was that, like no big deal. But yeah, his accuracy
and I asked you,
right
like,
now,
was it that small of a window? And you're like, it wasn't.
It didn't seem like
not
it.
to downgrade the goal or anything,
but I felt like the goaltender maybe went down a little bit early and just gave it to Connor, and he just took it. It was just there. He's like, okay, I'll take that goal. Like, yeah, but like he referenced to from your question, right? That was something that we felt like early in the season. Those goals and those corners just weren't being hit, and now they are, and it is just an onslaught.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just all coming like a big wave, right?
Yeah.
You just have that confidence, and you just, the holes look big, right?
Yeah.
And it's just rolling for him now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's certainly a pleasure to watch, and it's a lot of fun.
This is almost what we were expecting all year, after seeing him, what he did in the hub last year.
Yeah,
totally. Like you said, he was struggling a bit in the first part of the season, and I mean, he's 16. Like, it's, like you said, going into last year, we're like, okay, we're not going to have any expectations, because you don't want to put the guy on a pedestal and then not achieve it. Well, you came into this season having those kind of expectations and be like, oh, he can do this. And then, I mean, he's 16, so it's understandable. 18, 19, 20-year-olds struggle in this league at some point.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
their careers as well. So
yeah. Kind of an interesting note with this would be that it was Brad Haroff's first credited win as a head coach. Or not a head coach, but coaching.
That's another thing that I didn't notice at all until basically the second intermission.
Yeah.
All right. And you noticed it, and then people were asking about it. So, yeah, it looks like Paddock and both him and Ken Schneider were not on the bench. So,
yeah. And
not too sure what's up there. But, I mean, they could just be sick, or somebody in their family is sick and they're just staying away from the team, right?
Absolutely. Like, I don't think there's any... I'm not going to read too deep into it, but certainly, yeah, like John wasn't there and Schneider wasn't there. Could be illness. Who knows, right? Like it's...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's been
And so after seeing it, I looked closely at the Saskatoon game, and yeah, neither of them were there either. So it was just Brad as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, who knows? They could have been close contact with someone, and I think, yeah, the last thing you want to do is bring something into the team right now. And
exactly. Like you got to take extra precautions in a team environment, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, if that's what it is, hopefully they're better. I don't know. I think John's probably got to do some. He's still a general manager. He's got some duties to take care of there. I'm sure he can't. Anyways, so it was kind of disappointing off the high of that game. Like it felt good. It was a really well played game. Like obviously just dominated with Connor Bedard, and the team itself looked good. And Kelton Pine getting his. I mean, how about that too? Right, getting a shutout in your second game in the WHL. Like that's just How about that?
And
right?
I mean,
that's phenomenal.
And if you read my Dub Network article, that's his second shutout at the junior level this year. He got called up to Melville and played in his hometown of, I guess where he was born, in Weyburn.
Yeah.
And he shut out the Weyburn Red Wings. So
absolutely,
got a couple shutouts this year.
He's played 3 games in junior hockey this year and 2 shutouts. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, for a 16-year-old, that's tough. Like you often see like the successful goaltenders, like they lag a little bit, right? It's usually like 18, 19 into even the 20-year-old goaltenders that are really successful. You don't see young goaltenders necessarily performing like that. So
no, and from what I heard, like lots of people raved about him at camp, and he was undrafted, and they signed him pretty shortly after camp, I believe. So obviously they liked his game there as well, and so, and I mean, he looked good, and I mean, he didn't look bad in Edmonton. And like you said, he gave up 6 goals, but I mean, that's Edmonton. There's nothing he can do about that. So, and I mean, so rolling into Saskatoon there, Welke gets to start instead, which is, I thought, that's
Yeah, you kind of see why, right? I mean,
Yeah.
giving a 16-year-old back-to-back starts, when you got another guy that but yeah, this game just did not ever feel like it got off the ground, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like it just was.
Just Jason.
Yeah,
right?
like they just weren't. It's just so. It's junior hockey though, and I mean it's sports in general too. You go from like the Friday game where they looked just good. They looked great. Like it was okay. Roll with that. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. And then whatever happened in Saskatoon happens, and you're just like, God damn, like.
And they were right with Saskatoon in the previous game, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was a much better game here.
Yeah, I know I kind of saw it as a good rematch and maybe a chance to get back
in themselves.
Yeah, it just did not pan out. And
funny enough, I mean, Welke didn't look great. I don't think. Like
there was
struggling a bit.
There were some softer goals, in my opinion. I thought, but actually, I didn't even realize. I turned the game off after the empty netter. I didn't realize they scored another one. That's I often do that.
Hat trick goal right there.
I often do that. But like I said earlier, it's the live and die with the special teams, right? Giving up 5 penalties and 2 power play goals against. Whatever it was, not generating the power plays. So we went 0 for 2. Yeah. So if you could have got into the 3, 4, 5 power plays, maybe then we're starting to click on them. But yeah, I mean, you have to generate power plays, right? It comes from like definitely getting them caught, getting them tired, getting them pinned in their own zone that they end up taking something, getting odd man rushes, things like that, right? And if you're not getting those, it's harder to get those power plays.
Definitely. And it seemed like they were turning the puck over a lot in this game. I don't know. I think it was my Fire Stick. It wasn't working all that great, so the game kind of kept cutting out on me.
Oh, okay.
Ended up finish it on my phone, which worked fine. So I thought maybe there's a problem with the app, but
yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so it wasn't like you said. It just didn't get off the ground, and it was not the most exciting game.
No.
And,
not a lot of good flow, or
no,
just a forgettable one. But unfortunately, can't forget them in the standings. You don't get to just write them off. And we're just digging holes here that seem like they're going to be tough to get out of now, right? Like we're sitting in 10th place, couple game, 3 points out of a playoff spot, couple games in hand, but like we said, not as big of a deal when you're playing that many games and fatigue to factor in. So it's an uphill battle from here on out. Definitely. I think.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think, this coming week you got 2 games, and then, well, I guess into next week as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a slower week, but
4
then,
and 5.
Yeah, this week's a bit slower. Now, I was wondering, it might be getting too late, but when you look at our weekend, it's all open, right? Because they play Friday against PA, and then not again till Monday. I was wondering if they would try and slot in a makeup game in there.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the Tuesday's game here coming up is postponed, and the WHL said it was postponed due to a full schedule kind of rejig. Like all teams, they must be working on all the teams.
Yeah.
Postponed games, so they canceled that one or postponed that one for now. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something coming. You never know. Like day to day, it could be. Obviously, they're working on it right now, and
yeah.
Maybe they're going to announce a few games at a time, or maybe they'll announce all the games.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, you never know what could happen here.
Yeah, I wonder. That's what I was just looking at that, right? Like, I wonder how late they could wait. If it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe they would slot in a Saturday or Sunday game. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So those games are Friday night against PA in Prince Albert, a team actually tied with us for points. So yeah, just one of those teams we want to keep ahead of. And And then Swift Current of all teams, the teams we used to just rag on, is actually ahead of us in points. They've got a few more games played, but one of those teams we're chasing. So 2 big games this week, and man, we need these points. I think
you need 2 wins here. Like it's unquestioned. Like you have to have these 2 wins here. If you're not going to be beating the Saskatoons and the teams ahead of you,
like,
you got to pick up some points somewhere, right? You have to beat these teams.
I think so too. It's kind of getting down to do or die here, and these are 2 winnable games. Any inkling as to the goaltender situation? If any of our regulars are going to be back?
Sim was day to day.
Yeah.
Last I saw, so I guess we'll find out Tuesday or Wednesday whenever the weekly report comes out. So I wonder what they're going to do. Like, I don't know. They keep Welke or they keep Pine. I mean, Pat Canadians are coming up to playoffs here soon. So.
Yeah.
But it was kind of interesting. We forgot to mention it about the Edmonton game. So I thought Welke would be, they call him up for that game, and they went with Pine and a E-Bug.
Yeah.
So that was kind of surprising. But so then they brought in Pine for the week or during the week here.
Yeah. Yeah. So something we don't want to forget about, though, the Swift Current game, the hockey cards are going to be available. And actually, I saw the little preview of them on either Twitter or Instagram. They look good. I like the look of them. They're a little bit of a different vibe to them. Hey, like not the normal.
That's what I thought, definitely.
Yeah, I like the look. So we don't know. It said they're available then.
It said exclusively available at the game.
Okay.
So I wonder if they're just going to, before they put them online, before all the crazies.
Scalpers.
Buy them up. Yeah, the scalpers, and sell them for thousands of dollars on eBay.
Yeah.
Just letting the local people, I mean, not that the local people aren't trying to resell them.
Yeah.
The local people get first crack at them. So before they put them online.
Now people are selling them for that much. I don't know if they're being bought for that much.
That's true. That's true.
There's been some outrageous prices out there for the Bedard rookie card from last year, and I can't see anyone paying that much.
No, like one guy got his graded and is like selling it for whatever. Like I was just like, oh man,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But regardless, I don't know how much they're going for. Last year
they're 15.
Okay, so that's pretty reasonable.
Same as last time, right? So
yeah,
they used to be 5, so 300% increase.
It's still not unreasonable.
No, it isn't really.
Anyway, anything else you want to go over this week?
I think that's all. I mean, 2 wins or 2 games coming up. You got to have some wins.
Yeah,
there's no question about it.
No question.
Got to have these wins.
Okay, well, let's hope for that, and maybe 2 games, maybe 1 or 2 more. We might try and squeeze some in there. I guess it'd only be 1 more. They wouldn't make them play 4, but might see another one squeaked in there. That was my thought. So if not, we will see you guys Monday, the Family Day game. It's a 2:00 start on the Monday. Bring out everyone, and should be a fun one, I think.
Yeah, should be a good game. We haven't seen Swift Current in a while, so.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, we will see you at the rink. Good night.
Have a good night.